Keith A.O. Kidberry. How's it going, dude?
Hey, how you guys doing? Thank you for having me on.
Awesome stuff. So, what are you up to tonight?
Nothing. I was actually just starting training about 30 minutes ago. So now I'm just chilling. I showered up and I'm just relaxing. I was about to finish up the highlights of the last game, the Giants against. Who did they even play? I don't remember now. Giants against Saints. So yeah.
Good deal.
That's it.
So let's talk about
doing?
how you. Oh, we're good. We're good. We've had a few interviews in the last hour, so all good stuff.
Cool.
So let's talk about, actually, before we get going, how did you, well, that's just a stupid question. I was going to ask you how you got the name KO Kid, but everyone knows that. So how did you get your start in mixed martial arts?
I first started, my wrestling coach actually gave me that name, and it kind of just stuck. And I started when I was about 16. I lived in a small town in Marietta. It's like next to Temecula and like Elsinore. It's in the Inland Empire. So I was over there, and that's all there really was to do around there was fight. So that's kind of how I got into it. I wrestled in high school, and then I would do a lot of like boxing with my friends and stuff. So that led to mixed martial arts. I just figured, I'm already kind of boxing a lot. And then I was messing around. I was going to a couple boxing gyms, and then I'm already wrestling, so I might as well put it together and learn some jiu-jitsu and some kicking, and then put it all together and see how it does.
Nice. So when you were messing around in the boxing gyms, did you actually do some amateur boxing?
I did a couple amateur boxing bouts. I did some in L.A., and I did some in San Diego. And, but, I mean, it was fun, but I like the wrestling aspect, even though a lot of my fights I haven't used it. So, but there's times where I like to do a little dirty boxing and like to throw a little knee, just little things. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm more of an MMA guy, so I kind of stuck to the MMA.
Nice. Now, where are you currently training, and how often do you train?
I train at least 5 times a week. I'm training in Temecula at Team Quest currently. Yeah, I was in Vegas for a while at Extreme Couture. I'm still going to go back to Vegas. Vegas it's awesome. I mean, it's such a great cesspool really for fighting. It's the fight capital of the world, and there's so many good MMA gyms there. So I love to at least go there at least once a month and train. I was training there full time for a little bit, and I came back here just to finish up school. But that's probably where I'll end up after everything's all said and done.
That's cool. So growing up, who was your favorite MMA fighters?
Growing up, it's probably Chuck Liddell. I like Chuck Liddell a lot. A lot of people probably say that, but yeah, when I was growing up, I watched Chuck and of course Randy and all those guys. I was really into MMA. I would go on, not a lot of people knew what Sherdog was. I'd go on Sherdog all the time and stuff like that. I mean, I was really into it. When the first Ultimate Fighter came out, I was like 16, and I wanted to try to apply for the next one they were doing, and I wasn't old enough because you had to be 21 because all the drinking in the house. And then by the time I turned 21. They didn't have a lot of 85 shows. They were doing a lot of 55s and 70s and this. So, but yeah, I mean, MMA. I'm with Strikeforce now, and I just love it. I mean, it's awesome, and I do it for fun. I've been training a lot, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So,
for sure. So I was earlier today. I was just surfing the web, trying to get some info on you, and came across that there was a canceled fight between you and Spang. Was it? November 18th?
Oh, yeah.
What happened with that?
Yeah, you know what? I was training a lot for the fight, and I got it last minute, and I think I might have just been pushing too hard. I was just trying to train so much, and I ended up just overtraining, basically. I was wrestling so much and trying to do so many different things. I've been helping out at the local wrestling school that I grew up next to in Marietta. So I've been wrestling with all the kids. I wrestle with the varsity kids, and I'll wrestle with the freshmen, and then I'll run with them. I just do everything with them. And then after that, I go and do jiu-jitsu classes, and then before that, in the morning, I do Team Quest practice at 10. So I mean, I was just doing so much, and I ended up hurting just a reoccurring injury that I have with my knee. I just inflamed it, and my knee swelled up, and that was like a week before the fight. So it swelled up bad enough to where I just couldn't do cardio. I couldn't cut the weight, and then it's like by the time it was going to go down, it probably would have been fight day, and I would have been like 200 pounds, because I'm I'm a bigger middleweight. I walk around at like 215. So when I cut, I need at least 3 to 4 weeks. It's like that's cutting it pretty close. But yeah, so that's what happened with that. But I was really excited for that fight too, because finally I get 2 damn wrestlers in Strikeforce, and finally they give me a guy that's a kickboxer he's a kickboxer and he loves bang. So yeah, so that was perfect for me, and I was really excited. But I mean, I'm hoping maybe they'll give me Spang. He got a win, so I'm hoping maybe they'll give me Spang or any guy that's going to stand with me in January. So I was talking to Sean in January. They're going to have another card, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, that's good to hear. Now, I was looking over your record, and you're 0-2 when it goes to decision.
Yeah.
Is that certainly something you don't want, right?
Yeah. Well, the last decision back in I fought a guy Quickie Morton back in Northern California, and I did really well in that fight. Actually, I lost a split decision. The guy didn't do anything. He took me down in the last round, and then I swept him, and I controlled the first 2 rounds. So that was kind of like a fight I was scratching my head about. But this last fight, I fought a guy, John Vellante, at 205, and I went out 85 fighter, and he's just a big wrestler, just exactly what I don't want. Every time I went to bang, he just took me down, and he just controlled me on the ground, and then I would try to get up, and he really didn't try to pass, really didn't try to do anything. So I kind of just got out-wrestled. And that's why I've been doing a lot of wrestling and trying to really get my wrestling back. Because I started wrestling and stuff, but some of these guys at 205, when they have this, I think he was a higher caliber wrestler, in Purdue University and stuff. When they have the higher caliber wrestler, you just go back to your roots and really get your wrestling in you again.
So you just mentioned a few minutes ago you're fighting at middleweight now?
Yeah. Well, I've been middleweight. That's really my true weight. I mean, Strikeforce just gave me the call. They gave me the call at 205, so I just took it. I'm not the type to blow up opportunities. So
right.
I took the fights at 205, and now Sean Shelby, I told him, I'm a true middleweight. So if you could give me some middleweight fights, I'd appreciate it. So yeah, he's going to give me a middleweight fight in January. So
I was going to ask this question, but it seems like things are going half decent anyways. I was going to ask you what will happen with Strikeforce in your opinion, but looks like they're going to continue doing shows.
Yeah. I mean, I heard 2 different things. About a month ago, I heard that they were going to do the last show in January, and then they're going to be done. But now I'm hearing that they might change the name, and then they're still going to stay around. But I mean, the last things I've been hearing from people in Strikeforce that work for Strikeforce are that everything's gone good. But I mean, really, I don't think they would even tell anybody because then they don't want them to panic, So if they're going to try to, they're not going to tell anybody. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see after January,
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so moving on, I got the name game for you. Got 5 names on my list, and you just tell me in a few words what you think of them, or it can be sentence or whatever. Number 1, Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker? In MMA, I kind of think he's overrated, but I think he's a great athlete.
Now, you called him out, did you not?
Yeah, a little while ago. I just thought that was before it was in Strikeforce, and before they were bought out with the UFC. They had a little more political stuff. I think it's a little different now, but I just think he was a little overrated. I thought he fought some guys and got given some fights, and I'd loved a chance to fight him. But I mean, that's all in the past, so I don't want to. But yeah, I think he's in MMA. I think he's a great athlete. A lot of people got pissed at me, and I got a couple hate mails. People like, oh, fuck you, this, that. I was like, I was just voicing my opinion at the time, and that's just how I felt. So, I mean, I think he's a great athlete, but I think in MMA he's overrated. I don't think he'll fight again either, because I don't think we'll even want him to fight again. So I don't think he'll fight again. Yeah.
Okay. Number 2 is Scott Coker.
Scott Coker? He's my boss. That's all I have to say about that. He's the boss, man.
That's right. Okay. Number 3, I had this name on the list earlier today just because, I see if you guys both liking to stand and trade. Chris Levin.
Oh, yeah. He's actually my favorite fighter.
He is.
Yeah, he's my favorite fighter. Everyone scratches their head when I say that, but yeah, I like him a lot. I like Chris. I've actually never even met him. I pretty much met every fighter and trained with so many different people from being in Vegas and Southern California and stuff. But he's the only person I haven't met or even trained with. So I mean, yeah, he's my favorite fighter. I love his style. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4 is Tony Lopez.
Lopez, yeah, Lopez is a good guy. He's a family man. When I first think about Lopez, he's a family man. He's real awkward, totally awkward. Most awkward fighter you'll ever fight, and he's awkwardly good. And I've trained with him, and sometimes I'm like, huh, okay. And then when you fight him, he's tough. He's tough, but he trains out of his garage. I mean, he doesn't even train.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes he doesn't he works all day, and then he'll just punch the bag at night and do some running, and that's all he's ever been doing. He doesn't have a real camp or anything, and he's been doing that at his garage, and he's 27 and 6 or something. I mean,
right.
He's got a lot of wins over a lot of UFC veterans, and it's really good. I mean, everyone says the same thing about Lopez, that he's awkward and he'll find a way to win. I mean, he'll get rocked and you'll hit him, and then all of a sudden he'll pull out a submission out of nowhere. So yeah.
Do you think there's such a thing as overtraining?
Yeah, of course. That's what I did this last fight, really. I think your body really needs, I think it's 5 days a week is good. Some people are like, oh, I train 8 hours a day. I'm like, dude, it's more like quality versus quantity,
Yeah.
You're training a good 3-4 hours a day. I mean, I'm talking about straight. I mean, some people are at the gym for maybe 3 hours, but what are they working out? 45 minutes? So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about straight working out. I think 3 or 4 hours is good. It might turn into 8 hours because you're messing around, but yeah, I think that's good. I mean, if you're doing more than that, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, I mean, you're just going to overtrain. You're going to hurt yourself, and I already found that out. So.
Right. Okay, and number 5 on the list is Randy Couture.
I think Randy's a legend. I think he's done so much for the sport, and yeah, I just think every time I've trained with him at Couture, and I don't want to say for his age, but that's what I'm going to say. For his age, he's so strong anyway, but he's super strong, and his wrestling is so good, and even his boxing is good when I've sparred with him and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, he's just a legend of the sport, and yeah, he's done so much, so I'm proud that I've trained with him and trained at his gym.
Yeah. So talking some more training here, who are guys that you like to spar with or train with?
Who do I like to spar with and train with? I don't know. I mean, when I was training a lot of Coutures, I liked the sparring over there because, I mean, everyone goes pretty hard, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And same thing with Henderson's. Everyone goes hard in a good way. So, I mean, I like the training at both different places. So, but if I had to pick, there's so many different arrays of guys. There's a lot of Russian fighters that come in and out of Extreme Couture, and I love the Russians because a lot of them don't speak any English, but they go hard, but they're nice guys. I mean, they really are. They're they don't want to hurt you, but they want to go hard. So, I mean, they're going to bang, and then if they hit you, they're like, oh, it's okay. And they're like, yeah, it's okay. And then you just keep going. So, I say Extreme Couture, a lot of the Russian fighters that go in and out of there. And, yeah, so.
Now, I always thought that there'd be a lot of distractions training in Las Vegas. You don't have a problem with that?
Yeah, I was out there for a little bit. I was living at my buddy Scott's house. It wasn't so much distractions. It was more I just got bored out there. A lot of the guys out there, like Forrest, and a lot of the guys that I trained with, and a lot of the guys, they all have wives and families and stuff, and they don't go out much. And then all the guys that do go out, I mean, they're just partying hard. So, and I'm in the middle where I like to go out here and there, but I'm not going to party or nothing. I just want to go out here and there, maybe do a little gambling and stuff. So I just didn't have a lot of people to hang out with, and school. I couldn't find any good schools out there to finish my. I'm going to school to be a nurse, so I got to finish that up. So I was trying to finish that out there, and yeah. So I just figured, what, I'm going to come back here, just finish my school because I already started out here, and I'm almost done anyway. So finish that, and then I could work part time in the hospital and then fight. So
good stuff. Now I have one final question here. I need to get a good street fight story from you.
Everyone asks the street fight story. Yeah, the good street fight story I have is I have a big scar on my right arm, and it kind of looks like a bite mark. And I was in high school, and all my friends used to talk a lot of crap and say a lot of stuff. So we were having a party one night, and one of my buddies were driving away from the party, and he was talking like crap to these two like kind of like cholo guys, Mexican guys, and he's talking crap to them, and then they threw something in my car. So then I was I don't know, I was a kid, and I just was stupid. So I just jumped into the car like I'm all tough, and like, Mexican guys, they ended up having a knife. Both of them had knives.
Wow.
I had like such tunnel vision, and I had like so much adrenaline. I think I just didn't even notice that what was in their hand. I thought they were just clenching their fist, but they were like, I had a knife, like trying to say, oh, get away. But I just like ran at them, and I hit one of the guys. He fell down. I was on top of him, and his buddy like thought he punched me in the back, but he actually stabbed me like in the back below my ribs. So like
Holy shit.
he got me in the back, and the other guy was like trying to stab me, and he got me in my arm, and then he did like, I don't know what he did. He must have did some weird rip out or something, because I have this huge U-shaped, like really crazy scar on my arm from that one, and the back one was just a straight end stab wound. And then the one guy, I turned around and I kept trying to fight, and I was all bloody, and I thought I was bloody because I was hitting the other guy and he was bleeding, but it was really I was just bleeding everywhere. So he just kind of ran away, and the other guy was just out. So I just kind of walked away, and then I got real woozy and lightheaded, and then I jumped in the car, and all my buddies took me to the emergency room, and that was it. So
crazy.
Yeah, after that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna because I was wrestling back then, boxing. I was like, I'm just gonna stick to no more of these street fights, because that kind of got me. It kind of was a news flash, you know. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I got like 38 stitches in my arm, and I got staples in my back, and maybe if it was a little to the right, they would have got my lung from my back, because you can get the lungs from the back, and that would have sucked. So, you know, I could have really died. So that would have been bad. But yeah, that was my only crazy fight story I got.
That's awesome, Keith. So anything else that you'd like to promote to the show, such as your Twitter, sponsors, or a website?
Yeah. If anyone wants to follow me on Twitter, I'm at KOKid951. And then I just want to thank Booyah Fightwear, Affliction, and Mentum Eyewear. They've all been with me for a long time. They helped me out a lot, and I really appreciate it. And, of course, Sean Shelby at Strikeforce for giving me all those fights, and going to give me another fight in January. And that's it.
That's awesome. We'd love to have you back on the show once you got your fight confirmed and talk about your opponent.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate the interview.
Okay, thank you, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you. Nice talking to you. Bye.
Bye.